afternoon, everybody. As you know, I'm Anthony's father, and there's nothing I like more than talking about subjects I love and helping people change their lives. So we are going to demonstrate how to deal with more than one person to eliminate a phobia from their life. Now, this started with me. I started doing groups for smoking, up to 200 people at a time, and weight loss groups. We'd have a toilet break after the normal preamble beforehand. I'd say everyone would be comfortable, so if we have 10 minutes, everyone wants to use the toilet. In the meantime, if anyone wants to come up for a phobia, sort the phobia out, come up. And I expect to get 2 or 3 people up, and in a group of 200 people, we'd sometimes end up with 20 people up. So I only literally had 10 minutes while people were going to the toilet, back from the toilet, to resolve these phobias. And we're going to we are going to demonstrate how to do that now. Now, on a normal circumstance, when you're dealing with a phobia, it's very specific to the person. It might be, a dog phobia, needle phobia, height phobia, whatever it might be. It's very specific and personal to that person. So the thought of being able to deal with multiple phobias of different kinds, for most therapists and most schools of therapy, would say that can't be done because it's an individual thing. But because the way we teach at the college, we teach content-free therapy. It's pretty much what Anthony did earlier, and for all of you, even if you're performers and you're not therapists, if you have the ability, which most of you do, and probably all of you do, have the ability to take someone into a trance, and you can do what Anthony did, which he said, there might be something that you'd like to feel better about. By doing that, you're staying out of content. You don't know what that thing is. Something you'd like to feel better about. And as your hand lifts, that's going to seem funnier, and when you look at it from a distance, it's going to seem funny to you. And as you look at it, and you will never feel the same way about it. Now, that's a very pure way of doing therapy. And for me, I have to tell you, it's the best way to do therapy. I've worked with people who have been the old school therapy, psychoanalysis. In fact, I trained in hypnoanalysis, taking people back through all the rubbish in their life. A great way of making money, very poor way to deal with your clients. You take them back through all the rubbish in their life and hopefully come to that cathartic moment where, oh yes, that moment of enlightenment. Whereas as hypnotists, hypnotherapists, we have this phenomenal tool called trance, if you like, which enables us to move people from where they are to where they want to be. And I had a sign on my therapy wall, and it's an Ericksonian quote, so it's not mine, I wish it was. But it's this: therapy is not sought for enlightenment into the unchangeable past, but because of a dissatisfaction with the present and the wish for a better future. So when I deal with people, they will want to tell me why they're like they are. And I don't want to be rude and say I'm not interested. And you need to build rapport, so you might listen. But for me, the question I want to get to as quickly as possible is, what do you want? How do you want to be tomorrow? How do you want to feel next week, next year? Because we have this tool called hypnosis, which can help people move rapidly to where they want to be. So when it comes to phobias, for me, if people ask what I did for a living, if it came down to it, I changed beliefs. If you look at it like that, it's just changing beliefs. Someone comes in and they believe they can't do this. And they've tried everything to do that. If you can find a situation where they would definitely do it, that belief is cracked straight away. And the way phobias, this is just my layman's thoughts on this, and some of you might be much higher medically trained than I am and know much more about the brain than I do. But it's a simple thing that I explain to my clients. There's a part of our brain, it's called the amygdala. It's the most prehistoric part of our being, if you like, and every creature has one. What it does, it runs our fight and flight response. As a child, you have to touch something that's hot once. You have to do that 5 times to realise that really hurt. The moment you touch the object and you feel the pain, the amygdala will fire off, take a snapshot of that object, and for the rest of your life, it will be scanning the environment thinking it looks like that, so you don't touch it again, so you don't get hurt again. So it acts like a protective mechanism, if you like. And it happens with physical pain, it also happens with emotional pain. If at school, you're made to feel embarrassed or your emotions are hurt in some way, and the chances are anyone throughout your life who has the same sort of voice as that teacher will trigger that underlying feeling there's something not right, or trigger that emotion in you. So if you like, it's a one-stop learning. And in that instant, and we're going to talk about content-free therapy, and it's the hub of everything we do. And those of you who've been on our course will know this. Everything we teach is built around this one thing, which we call a parts negotiation. Now, the idea of parts has been around for years, probably 50 years or so. And throughout history, in every field, genius is thrown up. When it comes to writing literature and plays, there was Shakespeare. We have other people who discover how electricity is used and formed and whatever. Brilliant people in every walk of life, whether that's in mechanical devices. And with therapy, for me, the genius was Erickson. For whatever reason, he had an insight into how the mind worked, not how the brain works as much as how the mind works. And he found that he could move people from where they are to where they want to be very rapidly. We also had, luckily for us, because I think if it's just been down to Erickson, most of you in this room would not be doing what you're doing. It took Bandler and Grinder to go and study the man and put it into a form, into a way of understanding that we could all understand and use. And they had a purple patch as far as I'm concerned. Within that first few years of modelling, they came up with a few brilliant techniques. I know timeline's Tad James, but pretty much learnt from what Erickson taught at the time. There's anchoring, and there's the fast phobia cure. There's all these brilliant techniques, but the one that we use is what's known as a 6-step reframe we call a parts negotiation. And when I first read about this years ago, and at the time I was, as I said, I trained as a hypnoanalyst, so I would do that work, and I read this and I started to use it in my own practice. It changed my effectiveness immediately. Because people will use that language. I'd love to be able to dance, but there's a part of me who will not let me do it. You see people sitting at karaoke bars, don't you? I'd love to get up and sing a song, but there's a part of me who will say, no, don't do it. You have a few too many beers and that part's muffled, you get up and make a fool of yourself. But we talk, it's the language we use. So when you're talking to your client and you say, so you'd love to do this, and they say yes, but it's almost like there's a part of you who will not let you do it. They go, yes. It's not out of, abstract to them, that's how they think. So when I work, I say, well, there's no point in talking to you because you've tried to do this. I'm going to speak directly to the part of you that is running that behaviour, and it will communicate. So we then set up, like we've all seen this morning, this unconscious communication. And once you've got that, then you know we are in a process, and as James said, it is a process. And once you know we are in the process, you can continue with it. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate this to you. So I'd like you, and I know I'm not going to make anyone, I'm not a performer, so I'm not going to make you do anything stupid. I would like anyone here that's got a fear, an anxiety, a phobia, a limiting belief that they'd like to be rid of today in this next few minutes, to put your hand up, come up. Anyone. I've only got a limited amount of chairs here, so use it today. Come up. Yep, come up. Yep, come up. Yeah, come up. Yeah, come up, Scott. All right, come through. There's no more chairs, we'll pull a few more chairs out. Yeah, another chair. Come on, it's anyone else. If you've got any limiting belief that you want to get rid of today, any anxieties, any phobias, let's get rid of them. Yeah. Be sure some of them. Well, it's too late now. If you had the fear of coming up, it's too late. I can't help you. All right. Okay, just cut so I can get to all of you. Just move up one tad. Just a bit. That's it. Sorry, what was your name? Steve. All right. And your Sammy. All right. And your name's? Suzanne. Hi. Suzanne. And your? Mark. Mark. All right. Okay. Right, now there are two things that I symptom scale in therapy. There's only two things that I symptom scale. One of them is pain, and because when you alleviate someone's pain, it's very hard to remember how bad that was. So if someone comes in there in chronic pain, you symptom scale on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it? Because you know that at the end of that therapy, you're not going to be able to feel that pain. And it's a very clear thing, because I've already said earlier, yeah, it was a 10. So it's the same with fears and anxieties. Now, I don't know if you feel okay about talking what those things are, but I imagine for all of you, it's going to be different. You're not all afraid of dogs, are you? You're not all afraid of spiders, needles, no? Okay, so you all got different fears. So I'm assuming that, rather than ask you individually what fear is, okay? Yeah? Limiting beliefs, okay. We'll talk about limiting beliefs maybe in the question time. I'm going to help you now, but I'll give you my views on limiting beliefs and how we can change them, okay? So I want you all to do this now. I want you to just close your eyes and just think about that thing that you're afraid of or that's limiting you, the anxiety, the stress, the phobia, the fear, whatever it might be. And I want you to just for a moment, knowing you're safe, you're well, you're in this room, I want you to feel that fear now, feel that anxiety now. Okay, can you all do that? Yeah, okay. Open your eyes. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is that fear? 8 or 9. Okay, Sana?
8 or 9.
8 or 9? 8? 7? 4, okay. So in a moment, you won't be able to feel that fear at all, okay? Now, there are some things that we deal with, such as needles, snakes, spiders, dogs. There are things that you need to have a natural concern of. And some people, without thinking, will try and eliminate a fear completely. The way I work, and you'll hear me say it in a moment, is I'm going to ask your unconscious mind, and it's going to communicate, to one, first explain what it's trying to do for you. And it's obvious, it's trying to keep you safe and well. It's a protective mechanism. But I'm going to ask the question anyway. I'm going to ask it to explain what it's doing for you, and then I'm going to ask it to go to your creative mind, the part of you that dreams, has ideas, makes plans, and allow your creative mind to run, flow and work and come up with lots of new choices. Lots of new ways of keeping you safe, well and protected, but at the same time allowing you the freedom from the irrational fear and anxiety you've been feeling. Allow you the natural concerns that everyone should have so you can be safe, but allow you the freedom from the fear and anxiety. Now when that happens, and I promise you it will, you'll be unable to feel that fear and anxiety or that lack of belief that you've been feeling. Okay? So to do this, all you have to do is absolutely nothing. I want you to look on it as time out. Listen to me if you want, but I don't mean this rudely. I am not interested in your conscious mind. You have tried to do this consciously, it has not worked. This is an unconscious program that's running. Your unconscious mind will hear everything I say, and it will take from it what is needed for you to free yourself from this anxiety and fear, okay? So what I'd like to do, can you all place your feet flat on the floor? Just place your hands lightly on your legs. Hands lightly on your legs, Steve. Sit. Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. In a moment, I'm going to reach over and pick your right hand up. As I pull your hand up to here, I want you just to allow your eyes to close. I'll push your hand down, your eyes will open. Pull your hand up, your eyes will close. Push your hand down, your eyes will open, okay? Right, got that? Okay, I'm going to start with you, Andrew. I'm going to work my way along. Don't go into a deep trance till I get to you. Let's pull that hand up, allow your eyes to close. Let's push your hand down, allow your eyes to open, relax even more. As that hand goes back up, allow your eyes to close. Let's push your hand down, allow your eyes to open, relax even more. As that hand goes back up, allow your eyes to close. Feel that wrist stiffening now. Feel the elbow joint locking. Feel the forearm muscle tightening, that's right. Feel that bicep tightening into your shoulder. Feel that arm going completely rigid. It just hangs there. Every word I say now, Andrew, every breath you take is going to take you deeper and deeper into that trance. Even deeper than before. As that arm goes up, allow your eyes to close. That's right. Feel that arm locking. That's right. It's gone already. Go deeper, deeper down. That's right. As that hand goes up, allow your eyes to close. That's right. Go deeper, deeper down. As that arm just hangs there. Muscles locking, arm locking. Go deeper and deeper. 10, 20, 1,000 times deeper now. Every word I say is going to take you even deeper into the most wonderful state. Go even deeper. As the arm goes up, allow your eyes to close. That's right. Let's push your hand down, allow your eyes to open, relax even more. As that hand goes back up, allow your eyes to close. Feel that wrist locking, feel the elbow locking, feel the muscle tightening, feel that bicep tightening into your shoulder. Feel that arm going completely rigid, it just hangs on that wire. Every word I say now, go deeper, deeper, deeper down. That's right, as that hand locks completely, as that hand goes up, Scott, close your eyes, go even deeper. 10, 20, 1,000 times deeper now, that's right. Arm locking, go even deeper. That's right, Sammy. As you feel that arm going up, close your eyes. Elbow locking, arm locking. That's right, feel that force around that arm now. As you go deeper, deeper, deeper down. 10, 20, 1,000 times deeper now. That's right, as that hand goes up, come and allow your eyes to close. Feel that force now once again as that hand just hangs there. Deeper and deeper. As that arm goes up, allow your eyes to close. Go even deeper. Feel that arm locking, that's right, Tim. Locked completely now. As that hand goes up, Steve, allow your eyes to close. That's right, as I push your hand down, allow your eyes to open. As it goes back up, close your eyes. Feel that arm locking, wrist locking, bicep locking into your shoulder. But it's going completely rigid now. As that hand goes rigid, go deeper, deeper, deeper down. That's right, even deeper than before. Because with the eyes closed, you can continue to relax now. That's right, even deeper. As I count rapidly from 5 down to 0, every muscle, nerve and fibre will relax as that arm locks completely. That's right, head's relaxing, body relaxing. 5, going deeper and deeper now. 4, every muscle, nerve and fibre relaxing. 3, feeling of freedom from every limiting belief now. 2, to achieve that goal of freedom, do it brilliantly. 1, a wonderful feeling of empowerment now. Go deeper, deeper, deeper down. As you relax, go even deeper. You can use your unconscious mind as a resource you can learn from, really have an experience now. One that's satisfactory to you. All that's needed to build a good rapport with the unconscious. That's right, deeper, deeper, deeper down now. All that's needed to build a good rapport with the unconscious is to have a line of communication. Sometimes the unconscious communicates by movement. It may be that the eye reflex changes and the eyes flicker. That's right. Or the head moves slightly to indicate yes. Or a muscle twitches in a leg or foot involuntarily to indicate no. That's right, you can try and get those eyes still and they flicker even more. That's right. It may be that the left hand moves all by itself, starts to feel lighter and lighter, starts to drift up as the eyes flicker to indicate yes, or the right arm lifts even higher. Only the unconscious mind knows which it will use. That's right, higher and higher, because the unconscious mind knows more about you than anyone else. And so as you drift deeper, deeper, deeper down now, I'd like your unconscious mind to search for all the things in your life, pick one thing that's been scaring you, something you've been anxious about, a way you'd like to feel, something you'd like to feel differently about, and when the unconscious mind's made that choice, I'd like it to make that yes signal absolutely clear to me, with honest unconscious movements I understand. I don't know, a bit of left hand, right hand, both hands that drift up first as the eyes flicker more and more. But you'll know, that's right, finger lifting, hand lifting, before I do, as the movement begins. Even as you become aware of certain sensations now, feel that force around that wrist, pulling that hand up off that leg, lighter and lighter. Even as you become aware of that movement, it increases now as you feel that energy around that hand. There it goes, higher and higher. One thing that you'd love to be free of, a way you'd love to feel, that's right, higher and higher. And as you go deeper and deeper down, as that hand continues to feel lighter now, I'd like your unconscious mind. Hand over those signals to that part of you that is responsible for that protective behaviour. That's right, higher and higher. That part that runs, that protective mechanism that's been keeping you safe and well. And when it's taken full control of those hands, I'd like it to increase both signals at the same time. Even as you become aware of certain sensations now, that's right. An incredible force pulling those hands higher and higher. That's right, fingers twitching, hands lifting. And as those hands continue to lift now, as you go deeper and deeper, when that part that runs that protective mechanism has taken full control of those signals, I want it to increase both signals at the same time so that you and I understand it's taking control. It's what eyes flickering more and more. Hands lighter and lighter now. Deeper, deeper, deeper down into that feeling. It's right, 10, 20, 1,000 times deeper now. Every word I say is going to take you even deeper. Now I'd like to ask that part that runs that protective mechanism if it's willing to allow you to know what it's been trying to do for you for all these years, what the positive function of that behaviour has been. If it's willing to allow you to know, I want to increase those signals rapidly now. That's right. That's right, Sammy. Arm lifting, hands lifting now. That's right, Karen. Feel that other hand being pulled up off that leg once again. Go deeper, deeper, deeper down. That's right, fingers lifting, hand lifting now. Lighter and lighter. Now I'd like to ask that part, allow you to know, and when you fully understand the reason why you've been feeling that fear and anxiety, when you fully understand what that part has been trying to achieve for you, I'd like it to increase those signals so that I understand that you know the reason. That's right, Sammy. That's right, Sandra. That's right, Mark. Feel that force now, Andrew. Finger twitching, hand lifting up off that leg now, Andrew. Higher and higher. Go deeper. That's right, fingers lifting now. Now I'd like to ask that part to go to the creative mind, that part of you that dreams, that has ideas, that makes plans. Allow that wonderful creative mind to run, flow, work, come up with lots of new choices, lots of new ways of keeping you safe, well and protected, but at the same time allowing you total freedom from the irrational fear and anxiety you've been feeling. Allow you the natural concerns that everyone should have so that you can be safe and well, but allow you the freedom from the irrational fear and anxiety because you do not need it. And each time it identifies a new choice, a new way that it believes will keep you safe and protected, but at the same time allowing you the freedom from the anxiety and fear, I want it to increase those signals so that I understand. That's right, eyes flickering, head moving, fingers lifting, higher and higher. 10, 20, 100 new choices now. I'd like to reassure that part that runs that protective mechanism. It doesn't have to take any of the new choices. It doesn't have to give up the fear and anxiety. Simply has to go in, get lots of new choices. Working brilliantly, that's right, Mark. Feel all those limitations disappearing. Feel that hand lifting, Andrew, as every fear disappears from your body. That's right, go deeper, deeper, deeper down. That's right, Scott. That's right, Sammy. Feel that force now, Karen, around that hand. Go deeper, deeper down, Steve. 10, 20, 100 new choices now. You know you have a super powerful unconscious mind and it's working for you. It wants you to be happy. It wants you to be well. That's what it exists for. It's a superpower. To prove how powerful it is, I want you to try and hold those hands still and finally go even higher now. Feel that force pulling up toward the ceiling, faster and faster. So it's an incredible understanding. Try and get those arms down and finally go even higher. Push as hard as you can. Finally go even higher now. That's right, stay in that deep trance. Go even deeper. When I touch you on the shoulder, I want you to open your eyes, look at me. Go even deeper into the trance. Look at me, Sammy. Look at me. You can try that arm down, finally goes even higher. Look at me. Understand, you're in a deep trance. You've tapped into the superpower here today. You will let go of every negative, limiting belief that's ever held you back because now you've got different insight. Close your eyes, go even deeper. That's right, Scott. Look at me. As those hands are pulled toward the ceiling. Try and get them down. Finally go even higher now. Push even harder. Understand you've tapped into a superpower here today. You will let go of every negative limiting belief that's ever held you back because now you've got different insight. Close your eyes, go even deeper. That's right, Mark. Feel that force around those hands, pull them up toward the ceiling. That's right, look at me, Mark, because those hands are pulled toward the ceiling now. Try and get them down, finding even higher. Put some effort in. You're a strong man. Pull even harder. Finally go even higher. Understand you've tapped into a superpower here today. Close your eyes, go even deeper. That's right, Andrew. Feel those hands lifting. Now I'd like to ask that part that runs that protective mechanism. Pick one of the new choices, the one that it believes will keep you safe, well and protected, but at the same time allowing you total freedom from the fear, the anxiety, the doubt. Allow you the natural concerns. That's right. Feel that hand lifting as I touch it now. Feel that force putting it up toward the ceiling. Allow you the natural concerns that everyone should have so you can be safe, but allow you the freedom from the fear and anxiety. And when it's made that choice for you, I want it to pull those hands even higher. Increase those signals even more. That's right, Steve. Eyes flickering. Hand lighter and lighter. That's right. Feel that force. Put that hand up higher and higher now. That's right. Even higher. Faster and faster. When it's made that choice, I want it to pull those hands all the way up. That's right. There they go. Now I'd like to ask that part that runs that protective mechanism if it would be willing, take this new choice, do this for you, and allow you that freedom forever. Freedom from the fear, freedom from the anxiety, freedom from the doubt, Mark. Freedom to be everything you want to be. keep you safe and protected, but allow you the freedom from that fear and anxiety. If it's willing to do this for you, allow you, walk away from that fear forever. I'd like it to increase those signals now. Excellent. I'd like to thank that part that runs that protective mechanism for communicating. I know you'll remember it thoroughly later on. From today, no matter how hard you try, you will never feel that fear and anxiety again. The harder you try and remember what it felt like to be afraid or anxious, the further away it'll go. From today, no matter how hard you try, you will never feel that fear and anxiety again. And the harder you try and remember what it felt like, the further away it'll go. And I know you'll enjoy being happily unconcerned, unable to remember to be afraid. Because now you're going into those situations knowing you're protected. And from today, whenever you want to or need to use this power to achieve anything, physical goals, personal goals, you hear the word relax 4 times in your mind, and wherever it's safe and appropriate to do so, you'll immediately go back into this deep trance you're in now. From today, whenever you want to use this power, you hear the word relax 4 times in your mind. On the 4th time you hear it, you're going to go back into this deep trance you're in now. That's right, in a moment I'm going to count from 1 to 10. On 8, your eyes will open. And on 10, you'll be fully wide awake. Unable to feel that fear and anxiety ever again. That's right, get ready. You're going to have the most incredible feeling of freedom and empowerment. Every fear, every negative, irrational fear and anxiety gone from your body and your mind. Get ready. Your hands will drift back down as I count to 10. On 8, your eyes will open. On 10, you'll be fully wide awake, feeling absolutely incredible. You're going to enjoy the rest of the day. You're going to absorb all the things you're being taught here today, and you're going to use them to help your clients, help yourself get where you want to be in your life. Get ready. 1, feeling absolutely wonderful now. 2, to achieve all the things you want to achieve in your life, do it brilliantly. 3, a feeling of freedom from every negative, limiting belief. 4, feel the force of that freedom now for every cell, every fibre. 5, an incredible feeling of being alive. That's right, waking up. 6, 7, waking up. 8, eyes opening. 9, 10, all the way back up, feeling absolutely incredible now. Welcome back. Excellent. Okay. Right, I want you now to do this for me. Close your eyes. I want you to try and feel that fear now and find you cannot. On a scale of 1 to 10, open your eyes. Where's the fear gone? 0. Can't feel it. Can't feel it? Karen, open your eyes. Where's the fear gone? Can't feel it. We'll never experience it again. 2. Can't feel it. Steve? Good. Excellent. All right. Well done. Thanks for coming up. Excellent. Well done. Sorry? Oh. In a moment I'm going to count from 1 to 5. Your eyes will open. You'll be fully back up, feeling absolutely incredible now. Get ready. 1, feeling absolutely wonderful. 2, body steadying. Shaking, stopping. 3, feeling of freedom. 4, feeling absolutely wonderful now. 5, all the way back up. Eyes opening, all the way back up. Feeling absolutely incredible. And it's going to sit with you. Bring you all the way back up. Now, Jo, I've worked with Jo for some years and she's been on our courses quite a lot. Some of you have met her before. And I've just been through that induction. Because she's had that induction a few times before, she's gone spontaneously into one. But no, she's going to be right. She's sitting next to her. Okay, so I hope you understand that for me, and it's the reason that I say we can teach people how to be hypnotherapists in a very short period of time. Because all the time, and a lot of therapies when you're taught it, you have to try and figure out why the person is like they are. Now, the moment you start to think, I know why that person is, why they are, and it's so easy, we're human beings. Someone's had a terrible traumatic childhood, and you've had a traumatic childhood, you might think or believe you have an insight into how they feel. And you could be a million miles off the mark. You have to, and this is what I would suggest to people, assume you know nothing. about how they feel. We start with a core belief that the person, the client, has all the resources, all the strengths, all the understandings to overcome their problem. What I have as a therapist is an ability to take them into a state where their conscious limiting mind is out of the way for a while and their unconscious mind is to the fore. And your unconscious mind, this is my theory, and I sort of have a right to the theory now because I've seen 30,000 clients. My theory is this: the unconscious mind exists for two reasons. It wants you to be well, it wants you to be happy. That's it, it's got a very small remit. So it works for your protection and for your pleasure. And with every behaviour, no matter how weird it is, it's only ever trying to do one of those things. And if you as a therapist can identify what that thing is, or that's the only sort of conclusion you have to make. What's this behaviour trying to do for them? Is it trying to give them some sort of pleasure, or is it trying to protect them in some way? Then when you do your therapy, and you can do it content-free, and you can say, I want your unconscious mind to go and search, find that one thing. If it's a fear, then you can aim at say, I want that part that's protecting you. Or if it's something that you think might be doing something in a way of pleasure for them, that part that runs your eating and weight control behaviour. Snacking. And ask it to go and find other ways of dealing with it. And as you saw then, you know, in that period of time, and I love dealing with phobias because they're liberating. You know, I don't know what their phobias were, what their fears were. All I know is that when they come out of it, they can't feel it anymore. That's all I'm concerned about. And it can be done rapidly. You know, I'm a therapist, I have to earn a living, I've got 2 young children. I have to sort of fluff it out for an hour with a phobia. Seriously. Because they come in, I say, okay, what's your problem? And they say, I've got a phobia. And you say, okay, look at me, boom, blah, blah, blah. 5 minutes later, open your eyes, it's gone. Okay, that's 250 quid. I go, hold on, what do you mean, 5 minutes? The fact that the phobia's gone is not the point. So you can explain what you're doing, you can fluff it out a little bit, and ultimately, you're going to give them an experience. As James was saying, for these people here, I don't know if you've been in that state before, Sammy. That experience, hold on, I'm looking at you, I can hear you. I don't think I'm in a trance, but I can't move. That experience, something that goes way beyond you've experienced before. It's the same for you, Karen, isn't it? That experience is a strange. Have you had that experience before? Oh, yeah, so you know what it's like. But for a lot of people who haven't had that experience, it's an incredible feeling. I don't know, Mark seemed to be blown away by it. Where is he? Yeah, it was an experience for you, wasn't it, Mark?
It was. I had the face in the eye before. That was an experience.
Yeah, because most people think they can't be in trance with their eyes open. Now, this is how I feel about it. Mark was talking about limiting beliefs. I was training a group of people a while back, a few years back now, and we were talking about belief and belief change. And one of the girls on the course said, what is a belief? And that's a very difficult question to answer, isn't it? What's a belief? How do you answer that? But the next day, I think I was having a shave, and it occurred to me that all beliefs are post-hypnotic suggestions. You know, I think it was James was saying, you know, how long can you put someone in a trance? Well, Anthony, how long does a post-hypnotic suggestion last for? You know, and my feelings are that every behaviour, that's all that's happened. And what you're willing to die for, fight for, is purely dependent on what country, to what parents you're born to. That's all it depends upon. Whether you're willing to go and blow yourself up in the name of Allah, or whether you're willing to go and fight in the name of Christ. Take the child out of London at an hour old, swap it with the kid in Basra, get those parents to bring those children up without knowing that they've been swapped. The child that would have gone fought in one way would be willing to do the opposite and believe it to be a 100% thing to do. So when it comes to beliefs, for me, I know it's an NLP thing I read somewhere, but I absolutely agree with it. When it comes to beliefs, it's not about whether something's true or false. It's purely a matter of whether that belief empowers me or disempowers me. Because if I have a belief that disempowers me, I have an overriding belief that enables me to put that belief down and choose to believe something else. You know, I do know a couple of people, someone's been on my course, but in reality, I don't know how those people are going to go, but I have to believe they're capable of doing it. And because I hold that belief, eventually, they'll pick up on it. So, when you say to yourself, and we all do it, you go to attempt something, I'm going to do a presentation, or I'm going to do this, I can't do it. Now what is that? When you say to yourself, I can't do something, what is that? That's a belief, is it not? Then your next question is, does that belief empower me or disempower me? If the answer comes back, that disempowers me, choose to believe you can do it. I've got 4 sons, and I know most of you know one of them. You know, and but I've got 2 little boys. Now my boys range from 39 to 7. I know it's a big gap. It's the power of hypnosis. But yeah. No, I can focus. My young boys, they say, I can't do it, Dad. Whatever it is, I can't do it. I say, well, just tell me you can. They say, well, I can't. I say, well, just humour me. Say you can. And they say, OK, I can do it. Say it again. I can do it. Say it again. I can do it. Now go and go. And they do it. You know, that power of belief. And that's all we're doing. Everyone is capable of miles more than we actually achieve. But most of those limiting beliefs we have about our ability are not even ours. They're a parent's belief. They're a teacher's belief. And once you understand that, once you understand what beliefs are, they're like soap bubbles. They can be popped at any time. You know, when I first started doing this work, I probably saw 5,000 clients. As Anthony would say, you know, I'd sit in a chair and I thought if I move, they'll wake up. You know, if they move, they're not in a trance. And I was longing to get arm levitation. I'd read it somewhere. I tried it with a girlfriend, nothing. She was Australian though, so maybe that was the experience. So anyway, I got nothing. And my belief was that I couldn't get this to happen. But then a strange thing happened. I saw this guy, and it was someone I knew when I was a teenager. But long story short, he'd been married, he'd murdered his wife, he'd stabbed her to death. He'd been in prison, done his time, came out, wanted to quit smoking. So he phoned me up, and he couldn't even be seen in the area, so it was a sort of cloak and dagger thing. Can I come and see you? Yeah, come in. Sat in a chair, took him in a trance. Yes, thank you, God. The God of hypnosis has given me an arm levitation. But once I got it, everyone got it. All that had changed was my belief. Now, it wasn't that everyone after that was capable of it. The 5,000 before were capable of it, but I didn't have that belief. And now I expected it. In this situation here, I expect the hands to go up. I'm not going to get it 100% of the time. But I promise you, 98% of the time I will. Purely because I hold it. You know, like we were saying about James earlier, persistence. You know, and I think it's not happening. Well, hold on, it is. So, as I said, we've had geniuses throughout the years, and Ericsson was obviously one of those people. Banner and Grinder took that, modelled him, got it down to something that we can all understand. But if you do nothing else, if you get an understanding of how content-free therapy works, you know, people are afraid. They think, what if I say the wrong thing? What if I suggest something that's not right? Which you're all capable of doing if you believe that you know more about the person than they know themselves. But if you believe that they have the answers, if you stay out of content and just say, I want your unconscious mind to go and search, find one thing that's of vital and utmost importance to your life, your future. I want it to give you a signal when it's found it. You've got straight into the process and you're straight into unconscious communication. You then ask the question, explain, hand that signal over to the part that's responsible for that behaviour. Get another signal. Ask that part to go and explain what it's doing. Because, as Anthony would say, behind every behaviour, no matter how weird it is, at some point there seems to be a positive intention for it. No, people say, well, I'm pulling my eyelashes out. What's positive about that? But if a child, you know, that got your attention, that was the intention. I don't know. But the moment you start saying, I know, I understand what that is, you're into mind reading. I know some of you do mind reading, but if any of you believe you're doing mind reading, then you need some therapy. But once you're into that realm of going, I know how you feel, I know what that is, you're into mind reading. You need to stay out of it because you can be so wrong. Assume they know. Ask their unconscious mind to go and find it. Ask their unconscious mind to hand over. And it sounds strange, but I've done this 30,000 times. Every time you get a response, most people understand that the part that is running that behaviour, simple language. ask it to go and explain what it's doing. You know, whatever that might be. You don't even have to know what it is. You're not asking them to speak to you. Just explain what it's doing and then go and find some other way of doing that for them, but at the same time allowing them the freedom from the negative behaviour that they've been carrying it out. And the thing about it is you can do this blind. Someone come in and say, you know, how can I help? I say, well, I've got this weird behaviour. Can you tell me what it is? No, it's too weird. Don't want to tell you. Okay. Do you know how you want to feel? Yeah. I said, well, what's that? No, I don't want to tell you about that either. Okay, well, let's call behaviour, first behaviour, behaviour X. And the behaviour you want to achieve, behaviour Y. Take them into a trance. I want to speak to your unconscious mind, and I want you to go and find something that's creating that behaviour X. When it's found it, let me know. I want that part that's running behaviour X to go to your creative mind and find lots of new choices, lots of new ways of achieving for you behaviour Y that has nothing to do with the way you've been living at the moment. Each time it identifies a new choice, let me know. Pop, 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 pop. Now I'd like to ask that part that runs behaviour X and if it's willing to take behaviour Y and do it for you. You don't even have to know what you're talking about. And the person will get a result. And that's why, as I said, for me, I'm a layperson. I haven't had years and years of psychiatric training or psychiatric help for that matter. And, you know, but I believe I can help people because I know I don't know what it's about. But I do have an ability and a process that I can run through that will work every time. Now, in a normal situation, you might want to run a fast phobia cure. If you know what the fear is, needles, dentists, dogs, whatever it is, we do what we call room 101. You can put anything in that room, run a fast phobia cure on it. It works. We call it belt and braces. But the reality of it is, if you run what we call a parts negotiation, if you have an ability to take someone into a trance, you have an understanding of how a parts negotiation works, you can be effective. And that took, I don't know, 15 minutes probably to change, hopefully, I don't know, half a dozen people's lives. And the joy of it is, once that thing's changed, once their program is changed, it can never experience it the same way again. You know, when Anthony said, which is, you know, a bit of rapid, bit of easy therapy, look at it from above, it's going to make you laugh. Once you've laughed at an experience that in the past was painful or hurtful, you cannot experience that the same way. And as much as that didn't look like very much, whatever it was that Marcus came up with, I'll put my money on it that you will not be able to feel the same way about that thing again. So for me, it's very simple. You know, they did have a purple patch, Banner and Grinder, and in that early period of time, they came up with some phenomenal ways of dealing with people. And from then on, they've had lots of new things. And I must admit, I haven't read all of them because in 99% of the cases that I see, running that process will make a difference, make a change. So, it's, you know, I'm not saying don't read, I'm not saying don't learn, but I'm saying if you know, stick to what you know to be right and you'll get results with people. Okay, so if you have any questions on that, on what you've just seen, let me know now, or you can speak to me later. Anybody? Did you all follow the process? Yeah?
How important is the part that people actually lift their arms because there are variated results from the way they reacted?
No, as James said earlier, for me, it's about giving the person experience. You know, I used to run this for years, parts reframing, guess, because I didn't believe that I could get arm levitation. I still run the process, and people say, well, what was my signal? I say, well, your eye twitched, or your colour changed. I'd make something up, you know, because they're not going to feel it. In a room of 200 people, if you're going to do group therapy for people, you're not going to get 200 people sitting in a chair like this. You might get 20, 30, but if you're banging on about hands lifting, you're going to lose 70% of the people in the room because they're going to, that's not happening for me. It's hard to remember what it felt like to be in agony. You know you were in pain, but it's hard to think about it or feel it. That's why by symptom scaling it, they know, you know, a few minutes ago I said that was a 10. Now I can't feel it. With a fear, it's the same thing. If you ask about a fear, they'll go, well, maybe it wasn't that bad in the first place. But if you ask that question, it's an 8, it's a 9, it's a 7, and you go back and it's a 2 or it's a 1, and in some cases you want it to be a 1 or a 2. You know, it's okay to be fearless of spiders in this country, but you go to Australia or America, and sit on a black widow spider like I did. It was painful, I tell you. You know, you want to have you need an awareness of these things. Snakes, you know, it's okay to be fearless in this country, but you need to have an awareness. You don't want people going out shoving their hand in a knife drawer because they're not afraid of sharp objects anymore. You need to have that level which is going to keep them safe. But just on this phobia thing quickly, I'll tell you about an experience I had yesterday. I had a woman ring me up, and her daughter is in the same year as my 9-year-old. Well, I see her daughter who's 24. She's anorexic. And so I said, yeah, could her come in? So the girl comes in, 24 years old, fabulous girl, 6.5 stone. And so she said, I've been in this place, and I said, was it any use to you? She said, well, they did make me put on weight. Force fed, I expect. She said, but I said, is it about the way you look? She said, no, I'm a dietitian. She said, I know what I should be eating, and I'm a nutritionist. She said, so I work in a hospital, but I haven't been to work for 5 months because, you know, I can't work with people and tell them how to eat, and I'm looking like this. She said, I love my job. I've got a boyfriend I love. She said, and I want to be 9 stone. So it wasn't about her body, and yet she'd been treated for 5 years as an anorexic. So she said, but I cannot eat fat. She said, I'm terrified of eating fat. You know, I look at everything, and if it's got fat in it, I can't eat it. So I thought, well, okay, this is a phobia. This isn't, as far as I'm concerned, a body dysmorphia thing. This is about afraid of a certain object. I said, when did it happen? She said, well, 5 years ago when I started my course. She said, I went on the internet, it was a computer program. It might have been with the college she was with. A computer program which said, put in what you eat, what your diet is. She said, I put in all the things I ate, Pringles, chips, and it said dangerous levels of fat. She said, and from then, she started been checking my food. And of course, like most anxieties, it grows. And so I thought, okay, well, I said to her, look, because I was saying to you earlier, Karen, you know, I train parents how to recognise these little trancey states their kids go in when they're watching TV and you're talking to them, not listening to you, or on a games machine, not listening to you, or they're just dropping off. Now, if you recognise when a child goes into a natural occurring trance state, you can give them a positive suggestion. You can say tomorrow you'll feel confident. You know, from today you'll remember your spellings. They're not listening, not hearing, but it's going in at an unconscious level. So I train people how to use this for their kids. But so I know what a TV trance is, and I know what a computer trance is. And this girl, whatever put out knowing it, had gone into one. That suggestion, fat is dangerous, bit. From then on, much like when you say push your arms down, find you cannot, you know, they know I should be able to do it. She knows that not eating fat's going to kill her, but she can't physically do it. And it was the same for this girl. That's exactly what happened. So I thought, I'm not going to deal with this as any other eating disorder. I'm going to deal with it purely as a phobia. And this was yesterday, so I'm not talking about years ago. It's something that happened yesterday. 50 minutes with this girl. I explained what a phobia was, as I did with these people here. I ran the process I've just done here. She came out of it. She had the full experience. Hands in the air, eyes open, stuck. You know, so she got the full-blown experience. I showed her going to a trance by herself before she came out. All that stuff within the 50 minutes. She comes out. I told her how much it was. She said, I haven't got any money, I only got a card, and I couldn't take a card. She said, well, I'll go across to the cash point, come back. When she came back, she came in, I said, how are you feeling? She said, I can't wait to get home and have a cup of tea and a biscuit. Now, I hardly ever see her mother, but for whatever reason, I was in town yesterday afternoon. Her mum's walking towards me. She said, I don't know what you've done to my girl, she said. But she came in, had a cup of tea, 2 slices of toast and marmalade. She said, it's unheard of. And she just did it. Now, all these people, these mental health people, dealing with it, because they're going, it's anorexia. I've got to deal with it. Why are you like it? What's caused it? You know, why can't you eat food? You know, she had a phobia. You know, so open your minds up. Think outside the box. Think, what could this be? You know, how can I deal with it? It's doing one or two things for her. It's either trying to protect her or it's trying to give her some form of pleasure. It obviously wouldn't need pleasure because it was ruining her life. So it had to be a protective mechanism. Take them into a trance, speak to the parts protecting them, ask her to go and find. Now, like I said to her, she's a nutritionist. I said, you know, I want you to have the natural concern that everyone should have about fat in food, but freedom from the fear and anxiety, that irrational fear did me feeling about fat, so you can be well. And that her unconscious mind went, yes, please, I'll do that for her. Took it, and as far as I'm concerned, You know, that was 50 minutes, not 5 years of therapy, trying to find out why she was like she was. It had done nothing for her. So you all have an ability, most of you have an ability to hypnotise people. Listen to, you know, what Anthony teaches you about content-free therapy. Because with those two tools, you can change people's lives for the better without having to understand why the person is like they are. So that's basically my demonstration, my thoughts. And I will be around later to answer questions. If anyone's got any questions now, please ask.
Very quickly, Freddie, you labelled it, you said 6-step.
Well, that's what it was called in the first place. The NLP has called it a 6-step reframe. You know, we could put labels on it. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a parts negotiation. That's what we call it, a parts negotiation. We're going to negotiate with that part. And when we teach this, it's a simple thing. You know, get this picture in your head. Someone starts a company up, it's a computer company. They've got one computer, one guy working on computers. The company takes off, and they have a guy there, and they have a guy who sweeps up in the place every night, comes in every morning, sweeps the floor up for them. They've both got their jobs, the business takes off. The guy ends up with more and more computers, ends up with a factory full of computers, and now they're all high tech. And all of a sudden, the computers aren't working properly for some reason. So they come to the managing director, the guy who's managing the place says, the computers aren't working properly. They say, well, go and search and find out what's going on. So he goes out and he says, we found this guy. He comes in every day and sweeps up. Every day he's sweeping up. The dust gets in the computers. So you could say, well, sack him. But the guy's done nothing other than you asked him to do 30 years ago. He's done it perfectly. When you ask him to give that job, every day for 30 years he's been there sweeping up. Now you can sack him, but he doesn't know how to do anything else. So all he's going to be doing is knocking on your door saying, can I have my job back? Can I have my job back? But if you say, well, go and ask him what he's doing for me. Okay, well, he says he's sweeping up, cleaning up. Okay, well, go to the HR department and ask him to find some new jobs. Another job that he'd like to do for us, but doesn't involve sweeping up anymore because we've got all this new technology. He goes, and every time you find a new job, let me know. Okay, okay, okay. Now I'm going to ask you to take one of those jobs and do it for me. And when it's found that job, if it's willing to do it, let me know. Pop. Okay, take that job and do it. He's off happy. The company's running perfectly again. And that's how I see this. The behaviour, the parts running that behaviour. When you asked it to do it, when someone's 13 and it seemed important to smoke, it seemed important to do it, even at 40, I know it's killing them. You just take that job away, the moment it gets a chance, it's going to do it again. But if you ask it to find something else to do, and I say to people, you know, I have people smoke 30 cigarettes a day for 40 years, every single day for 40 years, 30 a day. I say it's an incredible feat. You couldn't possibly consciously remember to do something 30 times a day, every day for 40 years. You couldn't do it. At some point, they went, remind me, do this. And at that moment, they create that part that then runs that behaviour. But it's only ever doing what it's been asked to do. So you find something else for it to do, and it's quite happy off doing that. I had a guy came to see me running his own IT company. Instead of making the light up 30 times a day, he picked the phone up 30 more times a day. He said, I'm earning 10 grand a month more. Instead of laying up for a fag, he picked the phone up one more time. You know, imagine what it does for someone who's doing telesales. You know, so if you can find something of real benefit to do, it's quite happy to go and do it for you. If you just try and take that behaviour away, as we do when we just go cold turkey, or we say, I'm not going to do it anymore, that underlying program is still running. But with a parts reframe or a parts negotiation, you can change the underlying program. The whole system runs perfectly. It just runs in a healthier way. So anyway, I will be around later to answer questions. I hope you enjoyed the demo, and I hope you people that came up are free of those fears forever. Enjoy.